Get started here. We'll start off with Ryan Blackburn.
Hey, Coach. Gary Harris really put in some great minutes tonight against matching up with Duncan Robinson on the perimeter. Also had 7 assists. What can you really say about how he has come back to just being such an impact player for this team?
Yeah, I just mentioned both those stats to our team. I thought Gary was phenomenal tonight. You mentioned the 7 assists. We had 29 as a team. That's who we are, unselfish. We don't play with each other. We play for each other. And Gary embodied that tonight on offense. And to hold a guy like Duncan Robinson to 2 of 10 from the three-point line, he's a tough cover. He never stops moving. And Gary was in him the whole night and made him work for everything. So, Gary Harris is a guy that so many people have been down on, but I've been with Gary for 6 years now. Gary Harris has a lot to do with me still being the head coach here. I believe in Gary Harris. Go back to last year in the bubble against the LA Clippers in the Western Conference semifinals, 7-game series. Gary Harris was phenomenal. Everybody wants to just remember the Lakers series, but you know what? That is a very short-minded approach. So Gary's playing really well. We've won 5 in a row. We're 10-3 in our last 13. And Gary's defense and his offense have been a big part of that.
Mike Singer.
Hey, Michael. 5 3-pointers combined in the second half from Michael and JaMychal. What makes them so difficult to cover as a tandem together coming off the bench?
Well, we knew at halftime, Mike, we're up by 25. They were going to have to do something different. Going into the game, we talked about their 2-2-1 zone press, falling back to a 2-3 zone, and they sat in that zone the whole second half. And Paul Millsap hit a huge 3 at the end of his shot clock. JaMychal Green hit another big 3, and Michael Porter, obviously, his ability to just raise up and knock down shots was really impactful. And that was one of the reasons I got those guys in at the third quarter, just to give us more shooting, space the floor to try to beat that zone. I was proud of how we responded in the fourth quarter after a disappointing third. I knew at halftime, listen, the only way this team gets back in the game is if we turn the ball over and give up threes. Well, the first play of the third quarter, we give up a 3, then we turn the ball over a bunch early on. Once we settled down, the fourth quarter was who we were in the first half. So, understandably, man, let's be honest. That team is missing Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero, a lot of their top players. So I don't know if we're as good as we played tonight, and I know they're a hell of a lot better than they played because they've been decimated by injuries and COVID protocol. But a win is a win. We'll take it, and we go to San Antonio.
Rod Mackey.
Michael, I want to follow up a little bit on what you just touched on there. A lot of times when you guys look at winning streaks and you guys are on your longs of the season, it doesn't always indicate your team's playing the best ball. It just sometimes can be the opponents. But do you think right now that you guys are playing your best basketball of the season?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, obviously, it's still very young in the season. December, we were not very good. We were 1-4 to start the year, which was, the January 1st home loss to Phoenix, which put us at 1-4. Since then, I think we're 10-3. We've won 5 games in a row. And if you look at our numbers in that 10-3 and that 5-0 streak, Rod, our defense has been, terrific. We're the best rebounding team in the league. We're a top 5 defense in that stretch. And even though we didn't play great at all times tonight, to hold them to 37 from the field, 29 from 3, and to win the rebound battle by 11, good things happen when we defend and rebound.
Tim Reynolds.
Michael, to follow up on the start, you don't have an old team. You don't have a very old team. What was it about this group that didn't see 1-4 and panic? How did they keep it together after that first week?
Well, I think I know for myself, I challenged myself as a head coach and as one of the leaders of this team to make sure I wasn't panicking and I wasn't overly negative. I knew that we had a very short off season for our returning core. And I knew on top of that, Tim, we were trying to incorporate 7 new players into our roster, into our locker room, into our culture. JaMychal Green did not play in the month of December. and he was probably the biggest acquisition we made in the offseason. So getting healthy, knowing I've seen Jamal and Nicola play at their best many times in 6 years now. So I knew if we just stayed the course, didn't panic, and improved our defense. Once again, I know I talk about it a lot, but the proof's in the pudding, man. In December, we were 29th in defense. Right now in the month of January, I think maybe we're top 15. Not where we want to be, but a marked improvement from where we were in December to January. And that defense and that rebounding has allowed us to be 10-3 and 5-0 in our last 5.
Vic Lombardi.
Coach, Gary Harris was a ridiculous plus 31 tonight. Can you talk about the job he did on Duncan Robinson in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it to our players after, and his 7 assists on offense were great, how unselfish he was. But the one thing that I love about Gary Harris, Vic, is that every night he doesn't complain. He embraces the challenge of guarding the other team's best weapon. And that's every single game that we play. Devin Booker in Phoenix. Tonight it was Duncan Robinson. And as you guys watch the game, I'm sure you see it. You get tired watching Duncan Robinson move without the ball. Imagine having to guard him. And Gary just accepts that challenge, embraces it, and goes out there and tries to be a disruptive force, getting into guys, taking away their airspace, taking away their separation, and just trying to make life difficult. And tonight was another example out of countless over the years that Gary's had a huge impact on our defensive numbers and shutting down one of their toughest weapons to guard.
All right, that'll do it, Coach. Thank you.